California is reeling from a twin strike delivered by nature over the course of just a matter of hours. The first hit a historic storm, unlike any other seen in the state for over 8 decades.
It's quite amazing. I've never seen anything like this.
We've had storms before, but never anything quite this windy and rainy at the same time.
Tropical storm Hilary brought record-breaking rainfall that brought widespread flooding and prompted a state of emergency. Around the same time, an earthquake struck, rattling nerves as well as buildings. NBC's Jay Gray is near Los Angeles with more on the fallout from the double hammer blow.
It's been quite a mess over the last 24 hours or so. It's really caused some significant problems across a huge swath of Southern California. In fact, where we are right now, you can see that there are teams working, and they have been through most of the day. We got here at midnight. They were working in the rain and some of the wind, and they continue to work. That's because rushing waters coming down this hill, ripping away part of the roadway, and then rupturing a gas line. So they are working on both ends to try and repair that and get things back to normal here. And unfortunately, that's just a scenario that's really playing out from San Diego far to the south all the way through Los Angeles as this system pushed through, dumping rain for hours. Some of the cities seeing more rainfall in that period than they normally do for an entire year. And just because the rain stopped at this point, just because the system's kind of pushed its way through, doesn't mean the danger's gone. There is still concern about some of the hillsides with scarring from wildfires and how things might settle. What officials are saying is the next 48 hours are going to be critical, and they're urging people to remain cautious, stay away from areas that have flooded, stay away from those hillsides, because with that shifting, we could see more mudslides, we could see more rock slides. Then you throw in this 5.1 magnitude earthquake in Ventura County. Now, seismologists say that the two are not associated, that the rain didn't help to create conditions for the earthquake. It just happens to be a freak and very bad timing as far as the coincidence is concerned. No significant injuries, no significant damage, not only from the earthquake, but remarkably, to this point, officials say, from everything else, all the other chaos that's gone on here. The earthquake was strong, and a lot of people felt it all the way through Los Angeles. But I can tell you right now that I think a lot of people, not only in the emergency management area here, but those who have been riding this thing out and preparing for the last couple of days, I think they feel very fortunate right now that they've gotten through this without any significant problems.
NBC's Jay Gray in Santa Clarita, California. For more on what is in store for Tropical Storm Hilary, we're joined now live by CBC climate specialist Darius Mahdavi in Vancouver. So now, Darius, what do we know about the impact of this storm had when it made landfall?
Well, we know that the rains were extremely heavy through Mexico and up into California. We saw extremely significant rain. So if we take a look at this map, we can watch the hurricane as it made landfall. So it was downgraded from a hurricane to a tropical storm before it made landfall. But we can watch the winds just accelerate as it builds up strength from those warm waters in the Pacific. We can watch as it moves up, loses some strength, and then makes landfall. So some good news there, because the winds weren't as strong as they could have been as the storm sort of lost strength as it approached land. So a bit of good news there. But if we take a look at the radar imagery over the last few days, it doesn't look like it was that much of an improvement. You can see just how much rain passed through some of these areas. You can watch as that storm pushes that moisture up into California. And so it was quite a significant event, absolutely, especially in combination with the earthquake that we saw strike at a very similar time.
Now, I can't help but notice there, Darius, that that storm seems to be heading north. Is it coming to Canada? And if it does, what are you expecting?
That's exactly right. The storm is tracking north. Now, at this point, it's not likely to develop into anything new, and in fact, it will soon be downgraded from a named storm into just really a disturbance. And we're going to see this band of moisture sort of make its way up into British Columbia. If you take a look at this radar map over the last 6 hours, you can sort of see that moisture track through just missing BC, where we could really use some of that rain because of all the wildfires raging in the province. Now, a bit of good news: over the next 3 days or so, we are going to see some of that moisture make its way into the province because of this low pressure system on the coast, sucking a lot of that band of moisture further into the province. You can see by overnight tonight, we're already going to see a lot of that rain in some of these places in the southeast, in the southern interior, where we have a lot of really significant fires raging. And then over the next 48 hours or so, that low pressure system continues to track over the southern interior, pulling even more rain up. So hopefully we should be getting anywhere from 5 to 10 millimeters in a lot of these places where we have these really significant fires that are really pushing the limits of our ability to fight them. The other main impact here is in terms of smoke. So right now the south coast and Vancouver are looking very smoky, but as that low pressure system moves through, the winds will be blowing from the south, pushing a lot of that smoke up into the central interior. So definitely a lot of impacts coming from her tropical storm Hilary, even if we don't see the main impacts of the storm.
Okay, thank you so much, Darius. That's CBC climate specialist Darius Madavi in Vancouver.